Okay, hello guys, are you able to hear me properly? Are you guys able to hear me? Uh, Post CSS plugin. Yeah, no issues in that. Post CSS plugin requires this. Okay. Yeah, go through the Stack Overflow answer and you will get your solution. Just uninstall the Post CSS auto prefixer and it will be fine. Okay. Did not you follow this particular thing? Like the Tailwind CSS had their auto prefixer and all these things. So just follow this particular Stack Overflow answer and you will be good to go. Okay, great. Hmm. So today what we will be doing, we will be starting off with our new project. Those who have not joined yet, tell them to what exactly you need to do depends on your system compatibility. Just go through the answers over here. Okay, they have their ratings, 87 ticks and over here 58 ticks. Just go through some of the random answers and whichever works for you, that's fine. Development means, Googling, fixing your errors of your own. You just need to check around the errors. You need to explore a bit, and some may work for you, some may not. So you have to see that which thing works for you on your system. Great. Okay. So I have shared my screen. Yeah. So let me open up the Atom text editor. Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah, and this one was the thing, tailwind. Okay, actually, yeah, let it be. Let it be. Ah, great. So here we have all the things and things were working perfectly fine for us. So now what we need to do now, we need to prepare our next project. That is the Book My Show project. And in the Book My Show project, you will understand how to work around with your React. Okay, you will understand advanced React, higher order components, everything, and you will like have a good flow on React after working on this project. So good. First, let us go to Book My Show. Okay, yeah. So not now. Okay. So first of all, over here you can see that they have a lot of things with them. Yeah. So first of all, we need to understand the workflow of this particular page. You can see that this particular page has a lot of repetitive contents. Okay. Let me just yeah. Great. So they have a lot of repetitive contents over here. You can see that they have recommended movies. This is like, just understand the format of this particular thing. Then over here, you can see that this entire thing, whatever is available over here is exactly same as this particular thing. It also has a slider carousel kind of thing, and it also has kind of cards, and below them the description of the cards, and then above them the title, and then the like the entire thing is kind of same. Okay, over here also you can see that it's exactly same as the previous one. This is also exactly same as previous one. Almost everything over here is same. Okay, do you think that all of the components built over here is basically having an entire different components of its own? No, it must not be having. It is probably the same component where the content is being changed. Okay, so that's what you have to keep in mind. Apart from that, if you go to a particular movie, okay, you see, I went to a particular movie. Now, for all the movies, if I go back now, if I go to any of the movies, okay, and you can see that I have these movies over here. I can go to any of the characters, and here I have the characters over here. But you have to notice one thing that, okay, I am in Book My Show right now. I went to this movie. I am in Book My Show right now. I went to this particular movie. Can you see that when I go to different movies, they have the same layout? Okay, same thing is present over here. All the things are almost same here also. So that means that there is a lot of repetition over here, and we will be doing that using your normal React. Okay, we'll be understanding higher order components and a lot of things. So first, let us just understand the workflow of. Yeah, we are starting to understand the workflow of project today, and then we will be learning how to do the project. We will be doing it. You will also be getting certain assignments. Okay, great. Hmm. Okay. Yesterday, actually, I was doing some Django things. So that is the reason you can see that I have some Python pop-ups and over here a Python. Let us wait for 2 minutes. This train will never let me speak. Yeah. So you have some Python pop-ups over here and a Python terminal as well available. So do not worry about that. So yeah. First of all, we have these all default things that is already available. So what I want to do, I want to create a file over here, maybe new file called, what can I call it? Plannings.txt. Okay, here we will be planning things. Okay, so plannings.txt. Great. So here, what are we going to? Oh, okay, it's a txt file. So book my show. Okay, so over here, first of all, what we need, first of all, we require a carousel. Okay, what is a carousel? The slide present over here, na, they are called carousel. Here we have carousel, here you have carousel. All the carousels are a same component. There is a component present in React called React carousel or React slick. Okay, so that's basically responsible for carousel, and just by changing some of its parameters, you can make it look from this to this or this to this, and you can change its arrows, styling, and these all things. Okay, so we have to use that carousel, and we have to make it reusable. So we need a reusable carousel. Okay, great. After that, what we need in carousel, what kind of carousels are present over here? So you can see that most probably right now you might have noticed that there are three kind of carousel oftenly used. One is this hero carousel, which is present over here, and if you go to each of the things, na, like if you go to events or plays or sports or activities, you will find a hero carousel like this. Hero carousel means the main carousel. Then you have the normal common carousel, which is this one. Okay, this one is the common carousel. It is present here as well, it is present here as well, so it's the common carousel. Yeah, now, if I go to any of the movies, then over here you can see, okay, the cast is very small. I need to go to a movie whose cast is big. Yeah. So here you can see that I have a cast and crew small carousel. Okay. So probably there are three kind of carousels over here, which we need. So one is your hero carousel. carousel. Then one is your common carousel. Then another thing is your cast and crew small carousel. Crew small carousel. Okay. Okay. After this, we have our pages. Okay, our pages are there. Now, what pages are there? The normal home page is present. Home page. Then after that, you have your movie page. Okay, your individual movie page. Okay, I was clicking on individual movie page, right? You have that page. After that, you have the categories page. Okay, categories page. Over here, you can see that I have my categories page. That is, I can go to any of the categories. Okay, comedy show, music shows, or any of the categories based on my personal preference. So if I go to kids zone, then I'll be getting kind of this kind of thing. Okay, if I go to plays section, okay, some, okay, if I go to music shows, okay, then I'll be getting this kind of thing. So this is your category page. We need to build it. Okay, so we'll be building it. Great. After that, what other things we have? We have a kind of razor pay payment gateway, because over here you will be having a payment option where you can go and pay for whatever movie you are trying to buy a ticket for, or any event or play. So we will be having a razor pay payment gateway as well. So that's a 30-minute task. It's very easy. Razor pay payment, it's like it's an API from razor pay and you just have to integrate it. Okay, gateway. We will be having our dummy data over here. We won't be like making things complex and using MongoDB. That will do in Zomato Master. Over here, we will be kind of using our dummy data set and things will be easier. Okay, over here. Great. And now, how are we going to build our entire thing? So, how are we going to build? So, over here, building. Okay, so what are we going to build? We are going to build our layouts. We are going to build our routes as well, because you have to define the routes, in which route what things will be shown up. We are going to build our pages, and we are going to build our components. Now here you must be understanding three terms, but you won't be able to understand the layouts term a lot, because layouts, I'll tell you what is basically a layout first approach. Whenever you go to React front end thing, na, you will be understanding layout first approach a lot. It's very important. Routes though you understand, because when you go to a particular route, you can see that here we have the explore route. Okay, and if I go back here, you have the home route. Okay, so this is the route. You will be defining route, and based on the route, you will be showing up certain user interface. Great. Pages, we are going to build pages. Great. Components, obviously, we are having a lot of repetition over here. So we won't be doing a lot of things, like we won't be writing things on scratch over there. We will be building components and we will be reusing components for everything we require. Okay. So, yeah. So that's one of the things. Apart from that, what are layouts? In React, we follow layout first approach. What is your layout first approach? So let me just open the web paint. Okay. So suppose you have a particular page. Okay, this page is way too big. Let me just delete. Okay, so you have a particular page over here. Now inside the page, you have a nav bar and you have a footer, as is available inside your Book My Show. Okay, here also it's available. So you can see that you have a nav bar, you have a footer. You have another page. Okay, you have another page. Here also you have a nav bar. Okay, and you have a footer over here. Great. After that, suppose, let me just change the color. Yeah. After that, this is the content which is going to change. Okay, this is the content which is changing in each and every page. Okay, so what are you trying to do over here? Like, what will you try to do? Suppose this content over here on the left hand side is not same to the content over here on right hand side. I have shown them using different colors. Okay, so it's not same as the content on right hand side. So what will you do? Will you prepare two different pages for all the things that are having different components, and you will be rendering your navbar, your footer individually in all the pages? Second way is, what can you do? You can create separate pages for all the different pages you want to render, and then you will be preparing a navbar and a footer component, and you will be rendering footer and navbar component individually in each page. That is also similar to the first approach. You are doing multiple rendering unnecessarily. You are wasting the time, and you are also making the code a lot bulky, and the loading time will also increase. If I show you over here, yeah, if I go to any of the movies, you can see that over here there is no loading. Okay, there is no loading. If I go back, okay, if I go to any of the movies, you can see that there is no loading over here. Now if I go to Ajay Devgan, you will see that okay, there is loading. But if I go to yeah, let me go to root route. Yeah, if I go to any of the movies over here, you can see that there is no loading. Why there is no loading? Because over here, they have not prepared different page for that. This is called layout first approach. What is layout first approach? You prepare a common default layout for all the pages which have similar contents inside them. You put all the individual contents which are exactly same inside the particular page. What is being rendered again and again is your content that is changing. Okay, so inside this particular thing now, let me take a curve, let me take a bold color. Yeah, inside this particular page, what will be rendering again and again is this content that is changing. Neither the page will reload again, neither the components, header, footer, like the common components will reload again. No. What will reload again and again is your just your inner content which is changing. That is called layout first approach, and that is the reason why when you go from this to that, then there is no reloading, because the page is same. It's just that the content is being rendered. Some separate content is being rendered. Okay. So this is what is your layout first approach. Okay, and for layout first approach, you will be requiring React Router DOM. Okay, React Router DOM is something which helps you to prepare your endpoints for your APIs and render components that are changing. Okay, render some contents that are changing inside a layout. Okay, for that we will be using React Router DOM. Okay, I'll show you how to use it. Okay, do not worry about that. So we'll be using that. That will prevent page from reloading, will help in increasing user experience. Okay, so this is what is your layout first approach. Okay, so after your layout first approach, you will be able to understand that why it is important and why people follow this. Got it? Understood, everyone? Great. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Now, after that, we have to understand one more term, that is higher order components. It is nothing. Okay, it is nothing. It's like, what you do. What is multiplication? Multiplication is repetitive addition, right? So, higher order component is also something like that. Inside your higher order component, you do nothing. You just organize all the component inside your higher order component and render your higher order component instead of the components individually. Like, see, it will be easier for you not to pick up all the things you need for your trip into a particular bag and hold that bag to the trip, instead of picking all the things individually and carrying them without a bag and taking them to your trip. Are you able to understand? So higher order component is like a parent component, or it's like a house for all the components. You just gather all the components over there and render the house instead. That's easier. Okay, that's kind of very, it gives a clear picture, right? So this is what is your higher order component. So we will be doing that. So first of all, let me just save this. Yeah. First of all, what I want you guys to do over here is go to your SRC folder, and inside your SRC folder, since it's the main folder over here, you have your app.js, index.css and everything. So inside your SRC folder, just right click and create, three folders. Let one folder's name be components, one folder's name be HOC, and the another name should be layout. So let us just create three folders. So components. Okay. And after that, I'm just creating another folder called HOC. And here I'm creating another folder called layouts. Okay, so these are the three folders we will be working on with a lot, and yeah, they will be useful to us. Okay, great. After this, inside your layouts, let us just create our default layout, because as of now you require your default layout, right? The default layout that contains the navbar and the footer and all is required. So today what we will be doing, we will be connecting everything, and from tomorrow, see, connecting everything is very important. That's the most difficult task. Once you do that, and after that you'll never feel any difficulty. Okay, so first step is the difficult and a trickier one. Okay, that is connecting all the things like components, higher order components, layouts, and all. After that, things will be easier. So let us just create a file over here. See, usually like this only files are created. Like you have your file name, then the parent name, like dot the parent name and dot js. You can name it like just default dot js, but it's easier for you to understand when you look at the file name that okay, it's a part of the layout. Yeah. So okay, we have created this particular thing. After we are done with this, we will be writing up the code required for your default layout. Okay, so right now we won't be doing a lot of things like preparing the navbar from scratch. As I told you, we will be first connecting components. Okay, so let us first connect our components. So let me first import react from react. Okay, great. After that, let us create our default layout. So const default. We are just connecting things. Okay. So default layout equals to arrow function, and then let us just return our div. So we are returning a div, and inside that div, let us as of now have a h1 only, because we are not going to right now prepare the navbar. We are connecting things. So let us have a h1 only over here, and let us have our default layout. Okay, over here, and let us give it a class name. Since we are working with tailwind css, then let's give it a class name of text excel. You will be understanding tailwind css by working like this only. Text excel is basically for giving a font size to your components, right? So you can just go to tailwind css documentation and search for font size, and you will be good to go. Okay, so over here we have it, and after that we will just export default layout. We will be exporting a functional component. Great. So our default layout page is ready. After our default layout page is ready, I have already told you, given an introduction about what is your React router DOM. So we have to, first of all, we have to tell that our entire React, Okay, the entire React will be inside our React router DOM. Why we want to it to be inside our React router DOM? Because as I have told you that we want that whenever we have, APIs or endpoints decided, then that time we do not want multiple reloading. We are using default layouts, right? So whenever you use that particular npm package and you put your entire content inside the router DOM and you define your APIs, then the API inside our API we will be rendering components. Okay, we will be rendering our components. So it will prevent your component from loading up. Okay, if you are trying to just load up the same component with some different content, as I told you that you are having same thing, just the content is changing, then if you are using the React router DOM and you're putting your entire React application or the main app component inside that, then it will prevent from reloading if you are using the same component, but you are just trying to change the content inside the component by rendering the component and rendering the content and not the entire component, okay, again and again. So that's the reason why we will be requiring the React router DOM. So that's a npm package. So what we'll be doing, we'll be writing here React router DOM npm, and here you get it, okay. So just copy this particular thing and just go to your command prompt, cd over to desktop, then cd over to tailwind, and inside your tailwind only, just paste this, press enter. Okay, I'm just pasting it here as well. Let's wait for it to be done. Okay, so it's done right now. And after this, as I told you, we need to put it inside our main file. Which one is our main file? It's our index.js, right? The index.js file is our main file. So what are we going to do? Let us just remove the web vitals and this one as well. Yeah. So here only everything is being rendered, right? This is the main file where things are getting like things are coming up here and getting rendered ultimately. So what are we going to do over here? We are going to put in, like, take the React router DOM and we need to put our entire content inside the React router DOM. Okay, so let us import the browser router. Since it's a package, it contains a lot of things. So if you are trying to import one of the exports from the package, you need to destructure it. So from React router DOM. Okay, this is done. After this is done, what we need to do, I have already told you, we need to put our app content inside that. So we will be basically putting our app content inside the browser router. Okay, so we'll be putting it over here and over here as well. Like we are opening the entire component, like the tag, and closing it, and we are done. Okay, this will basically tell that, okay, our entire React application is inside the browser router. Okay, great. After this, let us go to our app.js file and try to write in some code over here. We don't need these all things. We need to import the route. Okay, so over here, see, as I told you, if you import something, you can name it anything you want. Okay, so there I have written the browser router. You can write here the browser router or anything you want. I just wrote here route because that's like fine and that seems to be perfect over here. So from the React router DOM, great. Great. After this is done over here, we have our return statement. Okay. Now here only we will try to do certain things. So first of all, what are we trying to do over here? We are trying to prepare our route, and inside our route we will be trying to put in some contents. Okay, so let us create two functional contents components over here, and let us try to render them. So function, and let us have the function name as name, and over here let us return just a h1. Okay, and let us write here hello root. Hello root. Great. This is done. After this is done, let us just have another component, like another functional component over here, and the same thing. I'll just copy the entire, oh sorry, yeah, I'll just copy the entire thing, paste it here, and name it as name2. And we can change its content to something like hello movie. Okay, so this means that this is your root route. Okay, this is your home page, and this is your movie page. As of now, just try to feel that this entire thing stands for your movie page user sorry, your home page user interface, and this stands for your movie page user interface. Now, after that, here I want to return things. Okay, so I will be using here the fragments. Now, why fragments are used, you know? Because suppose, see, return statement, you know, inside React you need to return something. Okay, if you have built a functional component, you need to return something inside a division. So inside a division, or inside a section, or inside any of the tags. So suppose you do not have a tag only, like right now I won't be having any tag, I will directly use the root like this particular component I'll be using. Okay, so what will happen, you know, if you do not have a tag and you are trying to return something, it will throw an error. So that is the reason why we use fragments. They help us to return something inside them, and when you basically render it, then they are ignored by the compiler, and whatever comes inside them, that particular thing is rendered. Okay, so here we will be having our route tag. Okay, and yeah, we have it over here and over here as well. Because why am I having the route tag over here? Because I am going to define a path for this particular function to be rendered and this particular function to be rendered. Okay, let me check. Yeah. So over here, I'm trying to render something based on the path. Okay, so I'll define a path over here. I'll say that, okay, if it's a route, then basically render my root component. Okay, if it's a root route, then render my root component, and if it's not a root route, then render the name2 component. So let me just do it. Let me just write over here component equals to name. Okay, so this is done, and after that, here I'll tell that if the path is slash movie, then the component will be name2. Okay, so it will basically follow that particular thing. Okay, and it will render it accordingly. So let us just start our server npm start. There is some error, never mind, we'll just resolve those errors. Okay, let me just 3 to 50. Yeah, so route is only ever used as a child of routes element, never rendered directly. What is this? Oh, wrap your route in routes. Okay, I don't feel that there is anything wrong over here. Okay, it's something, like the previous problem, like the, yeah. Okay, so what is it saying? Yes, in React Router, yeah, see, it's the version difference and nothing else. I don't know, React has done certain things right now which is causing these troubles, like in arrow functions and all. So let us see what can we do. Okay, so when we are rendering the route, then we need to put it in the routes. Okay, okay, but we are not rendering it over here. So okay, anything else? Any other? Okay, so this can be done. Let me just do this routes, and then over here routes. Actually, this is the version difference, and that's the reason I don't like, version upgrades and all. If you're a web developer, you have to take care of the version upgrades and all, else it will be like difficult for you to cope up. Hmm. Things are not rendering. We go to movie route. Error is removed, but certain version difference. We just rerun it again. Why do they do version upgrades and all? Anything else? Probably it's 5.1. Yeah, we can do this. This is better, I feel. Yeah, because that's causing trouble. Okay, so let us try installing this particular thing. Okay, else it will cause some error. CD over to desktop, CD over to Tailwind CSS, paste this. It's some version difference which is causing this, because recently I did not see the upgraded version. I was just working on around with the previous version, so that is the reason, I guess. It's causing some trouble. Mm-hmm. Again, the same issue. Okay. Actually, that was fine, but why it's not rendering? That's what I'm thinking. Hmm. It should render the name 1 and name 2. See, like over here, the errors have gone, but there is nothing being rendered. Okay. So that's what is causing some trouble. Okay, like why things are not getting rendered over here. It's some version difference or something like that which is causing these issues. Let me use the exact thing, maybe because of that it's showing the issue. No, it's not because of that. Mm-hmm. Actually, what was expected over here, I'll tell you. The thing which was expected over here as an output was that when I go to the root route, that is localhost 3000 root route, then over inside the root route, this will come, like hello root will come, and in your movie route, hello movie and hello root both will come. Why both will come? Because here the exact keyword was not present. So if you put the exact keyword, that will basically refer to the exact route. Okay, so if I am on the root route, if I have the exact keyword, then that means inside your root route just name will be rendered. If I am on movie route and here is the exact keyword, that means that inside your movie route just name too will be rendered, and nothing except that. Okay, so the code is absolutely correct because I have worked on this a lot. I guess there is some version issue and all. That's the reason why it's showing trouble. No, JavaScript is not an indentation thing. Like there's no indentation uh, issue inside JavaScript. If you put your this particular thing inside your routes now, that totally means that you are trying to. I don't know why is it something like this. You can see that here. mm I have the welcome component, game component. Everything should be rendered. There's certain, I don't know, issue with this name component. Previously, it was not like this. I like the previous React. I don't like this. Don't mind. You being a developer, you have to take care of this. So do not worry. Today I'll have to debug. I do not have time right now to, look after this, because if I look after this, then our class time will be spoiled, and that's what I don't want. So yeah, do not worry. Code is absolutely perfect. So I'll just see what issues I have and why it's not showing up over here. So yeah, do not worry. Great. Component or instead of element. What? I do not understand. What are you trying to say? I think here also I need to put it inside your routes or what? I think so. That's the reason why it's not showing up. Browser router and then inside routes. Let us see. Routes. And here I will have the routes thing. Inside it again I'll have the uh, routes. Okay. No, it's not showing up. I guess there is some other. App is not a route component. All the component children of route must be a route or the add fragment. Leave it. Hmm. I guess there is some issue over with the version. I'll see it. I'll check it. Do not worry. I'll check it. Ma'am, use element instead of component. Okay. You want me to go to app.js and use the element over here. Okay, here instead of component you want me to use element. Okay, let us see. No, there's no change. Do not mind it. I guess it's because of some version issue. If the version issue persists, then what I'll do, I'll just use the previous version of React rather than this version. Okay, because it's causing kind of troubles. Yeah, great. So after this, see, I told you what will be the outcome. The code is correct because you do not have any errors. It's just some kind of issues that's happening with the. Ma'am, it was given in Stack Overflow. Then there was some. Okay. So you have element and okay. So let me try. Let me give it a final shot over here. Okay. So it's basically this particular syntax, right? Okay. This is the new React syntax. They have updated it. It was not. I guess 1 month before only I had coded using React, and it was not like this. Yeah. See, it worked. Finally. Hmm. Yeah. So over here you can see that inside my root route, inside the name page, inside the root route, I have my name element. Okay, functional component rendered. So you can see that I have that over here. If I remove the exact keyword, if I remove exact from here, and if I remove exact from here, if I say this version was not available before 1 month. Okay, because I was working on it and it was not like this. And if I go to, okay, now they have removed the exact thing as well. Because before, if you would not put exact, then inside your movie page, it will render, the name as well. But right now, there is no need of exact. But do remember the importance of exact, okay? Great. So this is how things are working over here. Okay, we have done this part. Now after this, let us go to our higher order component and let us prepare a default HOC. So let us have our new file over here and default dot hoc.js. Okay, here first import React from React. Okay, and after that import your route from your React router DOM. Great. After that we need to import our layout as well, because higher order component is something where all the layouts come and then it renders them as a whole. So let us import our default layout over here from your layouts, one folder up, so layouts, and then default.layout. Great. After this, what we want, we want to prepare our higher order component. So what we can do over here, we can create a HOC, like a functional component for default HOC. So default HOC equals to, then we will be passing in over here the parameters. So what will be the parameters over here? You will have your parameters like the element is there, which is the component, and other parameters are your path or some extra attributes, like I use the exact attribute, right? So let us just have the exact attribute over here, because I feel that it's important and it will be used. Okay. So the other attributes are your extra properties. Element is your component. So what are we going to do over here? We are going to have them as your parameters. Okay. So inside your parameters here, since we have used, element instead of, component. So here also we will be having our element, and then we will be having our props over here. These are the properties. Okay, these are the properties, and then after this you will have your callback function. Okay, you will have your callback function. So inside your callback function, first of all, let us just have our element inside some element constant. So this is your element over here. Okay, and after that, let us return everything, return the entire component by rendering it. So put it inside a fragment. Okay, after putting it inside a fragment, have your route over here, since you are following the React router DOM. So that is the reason why you are supposed to have your route over here. Now, after having a route, what you need to do, you need to spread your props over here. Why are you spreading your properties? Because your properties are, kind of, there can be a lot of properties. Right now, you just have path and exact, but later on, you can have a lot of properties. So that is the reason why we are trying to spread our properties over here. So over here, I'll basically see route is your entire, like, tag over here. So just imagine it like inside a tag you are having all the attributes, but here the attributes are spreaded from taking it from the parameter of the function. Okay, so over here you have the props. Okay, and after that it has its element. And what are its element? Its elements are okay, element, yeah, it has its element which again can have its own props. Okay, so this particular element which you are picking up from here, okay, this can also have some properties, right? It can also have some attributes. It's not mandatory it will have, but to be on safe side, you should always take in the props and spread them. Okay, if they are having the properties, then it's a good deal for you. Okay, you will not get some errors. Yeah, so that's the reason we will be taking in the properties and spreading in them over here, even if they don't have any properties. Okay, so over here I'll take the props and then I'll have a callback function over here. Let me just correct the indentation. Yeah, great. So over here, what are you trying to do? You are trying to render your default layout. Okay, so here I'll render my default layout. Okay, and here also I'll render my default layout as a closing. Like this is the entire default layout. Now inside your default layout, you are trying to render your component. Which component? This element. Okay, so inside it I will render the element. Okay, so it can be a kind of tricky for you as of now, because it is kind of, first step is seriously tricky, but if you just practice upon this, then it will be easy to go. Okay, it will be good to go. Now over here, this might be confusing for you guys, that what are props over here and what are these kind of props. So this is mandatory. This should be there because ultimately you are having here props. But why did I put props over here? Because it can have properties, right? So that is the reason you did spread all the properties and you are trying to be on safe side. So let us have the props here as well, because we never know that this element in future can have certain properties. Maybe we can put it later on. So to prevent coming later on upon this and having the props spreaded, let us just spread it right now. And let us just segregate them. Let us name it as rest over here and rest over here and props, because these two are same and these two are same. So that is the reason to segregate these things. I did just like I had them like this. I named them rest over here and props over here. And after that, what we'll do, we'll basically export default higher order component. Okay, so this is how it's done. Okay, this is how it's done. And it basically, I'm explaining the entire workflow. Over here you have your default higher order component, you have your element, you have your element is a component. Okay, over here you have the component, these are elements. You are passing that, and you are also passing the rest attributes. Attributes are exact path, these all things. You are spreading them because there are a lot and you can't have them individually, so you are spreading them. You are grabbing the element inside a element constant. You are having your return statement inside which you are rendering things together. Okay, as I told you, what's the importance of default higher order component or higher order component? They just are a house to all the components. So that is the reason inside your default higher order component you are rendering all of your individual elements. Okay, so the first element was, suppose what is that? Yeah, the first element was, suppose, this particular name function. Okay, so you are basically trying to like render the elements inside your default higher order component. Just remember how I explained you the layout first approach. This is what it is doing in code. Okay, it is creating a default layout. It is rendering the components based on their contents. Okay, so that you do not have to render the entire thing again and again. That is how it's working. Okay, that is how it's working. And yeah, after this, to basically understood everyone. Exact is basically for specifying the exact route. Okay, previously when this recent version of React was not introduced, when we had the root route, okay, this was being displayed. And when we went to movie route, since it has slash and movie, both the things, so it was basically showing hello root and hello movie, both the things. So that's the reason we specified exact, so that for exact route, exact component will be rendered. Triple dots, it's for spreading an operator, remember, spreading, that's the syntax. Okay, great. So after this, let us just go to our default layout.js, and inside our default layout.js, we will basically be saying that, okay, H1, you basically have your default layout. And then after that, to also render the children's, okay, what are the children's? The children's are when you go to your what is that? Yeah, default HOC. This element is a children. Okay, to take care of that as well when you go to a default layout, because see, inside your default layout, inside this, you can say that the element component is basically a children of the default layout. So to show up the element as well, you have to take care of that and specify that children should also be taken care. So you have to write props.children. Okay, over here. So if you just write props.children, it will understand that, okay, I need to take care of the children components as well. Okay, so now let us see how it's working. Okay, now let us see how it's working. So to make it work, we have to create a temporary component. So let us create a temporary component called temp.js. Inside temp.js, let us just import React from React. Okay, I'm just creating a temporary requirement for the component for debugging purpose. Let us have a function and let us have the function name as temp. Okay, then after this, let us just return h1 over here. And hello, this is a temp component. Hello, I am temp component. Okay, so this is done. After this, let us just export default. Okay, so this is done. So our temp component is made. Let us now render our temp component inside our app.js file. So let us have our app.js. We were rendering this name and all components, right? So let us just have our temp component over inside here instead of the name component which we had over here, because we were building the component inside this file, which is not good. Okay, you should always have your individual components in their folder. So this was also working, but we did not want it. We instead wanted that we should import one component from other folder. So this is, a kind of longer way of doing this particular thing, which we did right now. Okay, so over here, let us just have our higher order component. So okay, import okay, here, let me just give a comment over here. So import default higher order component from dot slash hoc slash default dot hoc. Okay, and after this, let me have my components. Okay, so let me import the temp component. Import temp from dot slash components slash temp. Okay, so I have imported my temp component as well. So inside the entire thing, what I need to do, I just need to render my temp component, right? So okay, let me just remove this particular thing. So here we will have our default HOC, because this is, our default higher order component, and then we will have our element as temp. Okay, great. Let me just save this. Okay, after saving this, let us just go to our, you know, localhost 3000, where it's expected that we'll get props is not defined default.layout.js. Okay, props. Okay, again the same issue. There is no error, but there is certain issue over here inside the same version issue. Nothing more than that. The version issue is happening over here as well. I probably need to put it inside routes or something like that, but the code is perfectly fine. I need to debug it, I guess, a bit. Okay, so inside app.js, I have my temp component rendered. Okay, so let me just have the children's thing inside my default layout, because I'm not taking care. Okay, I'm taking care of the children's. Great. So I guess there is some, version issue again. Again, some version issue, because it's not showing. It should show, the component, the temp component. The code is perfectly fine. Okay, the code is perfectly fine. Uh, I'll just try to handle the version issue. I'll try to tell you what package to install in order to avoid these silly things, because they will really ask you to refresh your concepts, which is, previously I think things were very logical. I don't know, some updates are made, I guess, 1 month ago, because of which these things are happening. Okay, let me just remove the routes thing over here. Pause. Okay. You should not use route outside a router. Where did I use route? Okay. Hmm. Okay. I guess it's some route issue. Mhm. I'm telling you, this update is terrible. Let me just copy something from here. Where was it present? Okay, there's some kind of, I don't know, some issue. I'll just sort it out. I guess everything is perfect. It's just default HOC is not a route component. All has been route. Yeah, I know it's not a route component. Okay. This React is no see, you should not use this outside a particular thing, and then if I'm using it inside that, then it's showing some trouble which I don't want. And I'm literally, it's pissing me off like anything. Expected corresponding JXX closing tag. You have a closing tag. Okay, never mind. The code is fine. There is certain small little issue, I guess. Yeah, this version error is making everyone mad. Do not worry. You can use the previous versions if you want. Okay. So tomorrow I'll just debug and I'll just tell you which version to download. Because this version is terrible and it will make you confuse between things. I'm telling you, it was just 1 month ago which this version was introduced. Never mind. Ma'am, first route and then browser route and closing tag. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. That will still not resolve the issue. I don't think so because it's like the issue is terrible, and I'll just fix this. Yeah, browser router is not defined. I know. See, it will show some issues. Do not worry about that. Tomorrow I'll tell you how to fix this, and we'll be using the previous version of React only. So do not worry about that. Yeah, I'm just pushing the. I'll push the code to GitHub, and I'll give you the entire file. Okay. So okay, let me do it now only. GitHub.com. Let me create a repository, new repository. What is this? Book my show. Okay, create repository. So get remote add. Okay, so I pushed the code over here. Please go through the code. Tomorrow I'll be upgrading the version. Okay. Yeah, still we're not working on the keyboard. Yeah. So first of all, now here, what are you doing? You are putting your default component here. You are going to your higher order component. You are just grabbing everything. You are spreading their attributes and components, and you are putting them inside your route. Okay, inside the entire route thing, and here you have the default layout. Default layout is the parent, and inside the parent the elements are being rendered. Okay, the elements are changing, right? And the default layout is same. So I had told you in layout approach, first layout approach, so there the default layout remains same and the elements are being rendered. So that is what you are doing over here. Then you have your app.js where you are basically putting everything inside the browser router, and since the browser router basically helps you to like put the exact route, and secondly prevent rendering if you are on the same component, just the elements are changing. Okay, so like the default component, you are working on the default component and just the elements are changing. So you have the browser router over here, and then inside that you have your routes, and routes is not necessary. Okay, this is just the version problem. I was just debugging. This is not necessary, just the browser router is necessary, and then after that you should have your default higher order component. what is a default higher order component? It is basically a house for all of your components, and there you are rendering things based on the layout first approach, and you are finally rendering your higher order component inside your app.js file. Okay, so it's like you are first going to your default HOC. Inside it you are following layout first approach. Then this entire component, that is the higher order component, is basically taken to your app.js, and from your app.js you are taking your app into your index.js, and this is your default layout.js. This is your default layout which is being taken to the default HOC. So if you talk from inner layers, if I'm going from inner layer to the outer layer, then first it is default layout, then default higher order component, then you have your yeah, then you have your entire app.js, and then after that you have your index.js. This is inner layer to outer layer. Okay, this is how things are working over here. Got it? Element is actually the component. Do not worry about that. Tomorrow I'll change the version and I'll explain the entire code again. Because element doesn't make sense. You have your functional and class components. Why? I don't know why the hell they are like changing the name from component to element. That doesn't make sense. Okay. Ma'am, can we put any name in place of browser router? No, you can put anything, but browser router is usually used. Okay. Tomorrow I'll fix this version issue. I'll use the previous version because element doesn't make sense. It's component. Just right now, remember wherever element is used, that's your component. That's a functional component. It's the React and the router DOM that like things have made complicated. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Ask. Someone has raised. Yeah. Okay. Great. So I have pushed the code to GitHub, and I guess I have given the link as well here. So, okay. Now, great. Take 5 minutes, do this, and after that, tomorrow I'll be again explaining it, and I'll also take probably I'll take a class tomorrow at 5:30. Okay. Yeah, I'll start from this only, and I'll tell you how to fix this error. And yeah, I'll start the class from 5:30. To join at 5:30, we'll have an extra half an hour for doubt clearing and all. Okay. Okay. Great. So take 5 minutes, do this. No, no, you don't have a doubt session. You have a continuous 1.5 hour kind of class and a 10-15 minutes doubt session. Okay. So make sure to attend it, and yeah, tomorrow I'll fix this, and yeah, bye bye. See you guys.